How y'all doing out there? It's me, Tony. I'm back with you. You know, half of mobusta sitting over here. I come back because I told everybody I was going to do an equipment segment. I'm going to run through this equipment segment pretty quick. Most of y'all know why I was making those longer shots. Because the question came up, because we're right here at the cuff of muzzleloader season in my state. The question came up, did you really need those high dollar custom build muzzleloaders to make ethical kill shots, you know, 200, 300 yards? My answer is absolutely not. Do I have the custom muzzleloaders? Yes, I do. Do I have custom rifles? Yes, I do. But for hunting, you don't need it. I shoot a regular across the counter muzzleloader on a regular basis. You can hunt at any distance that you're comfortable with any day of the week. The issue is you. Go out, practice, practice, practice. All right, and we're gonna step on up. You definitely need to have yourself a nice stiff range rod. The range rod that comes with your muzzleloader is fine. In most cases, it's gonna be fiberglass, kind of soft. Get yourself a real nice range rod, something that you can really seat that bullet down really good with. Number two, clean your muzzleloader. This is a very good cleaning solution. It breaks up the fouling and sulfur and residue from your black powder and black powder supplements really well. That's that T17. I prefer hot water and Dawn, but I do keep that with me in case I'm spending the night at a hotel when we're out hunting somewhere. It's too far to come home. I can clean my muzzleloader up really, really well with that. I also prefer eel snot. I use eel snot in my trigger mechanism and on my firing pin. It keeps down corrosion. It keeps down the fouling. I even wipe my barrel and my scope and everything off with it. Later I leave a thin coat on it, wipe it down really well. Keeps down a lot of corrosion, a lot of fouling, a lot of dirt. It's good. Boar butter. You're gonna definitely need that boar butter on that breech plug. Now I know this sounds really elementary, but if your gun seizes up, locks up, and fails to fire, you won't be comfortable with it. So make sure you do the due diligence to keep your weapon in tip-top shape. All right. Number one thing is your powder. As y'all saw in the video, I'm a 777 man. I use this blackhorn 209. There's nothing in the world wrong with it. Blackhorn 209 shoots well in a lot of firearms. This muzzleloader likes 777, so that's what I feed it. I tell you, no matter what you're shooting, if you're shooting granulated powder, get yourself a really nice measuring device. You need to get you a nice funnel. You need to get you a nice volume measuring device. Now, the only reason y'all see these scales here, for me and a lot of other long range shooters, once I work up my load and my recipe that I'm shooting by volume, what I do, I come home, I pour the same volume on a scale, whether it's a beam or digital. I get the exact weight and I duplicate and preload my powder loads. Reason being, I personally feel like that your beams and your digital scales give you a more accurate reading, repeatable, than the volume. The volume gets you close, but if the wind is blowing and it take 2 or 3 granules out, or whatever, well, shooters understand what I'm talking about. That can change everything. Just a little bit changes a lot. So I preload everything. When I preload at home, I measure it out, but it's all based off what I measured by volume. All right, because I shoot a lot of powder. If you're shooting 100 grains and under, regular primers will do you just fine. Regular 209s will do you fine. I prefer Magnum primers for the amount of powder that we shoot. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. It gives me a better ignition. There's nothing more to say about it. This scope, for y'all that wanted to know, it's a Nikon P308. Couple of reasons I went with it. For the purposes of what I was trying to show, the P308 was a pretty good price point. Number one. Number two, I could have went with any other BDC out there, but because the 308 was calibrated for the 308, I like the bullet drop compensation in there that was calibrated for that. When I changed the parameters to match my muzzleloader, I liked where the yardages fell. All right. The other reason why I went with this over some of the other BDCs, some of your BDCs have covered turrets or internal turrets. I wanted this because with this particular one, this P308, it comes with external turrets. What that allows me to do is twofold. It allows me to get the quick reference in my cap for my muzzle, for the scope. There's a quick reference in there on what each relative hold point is. What's the actual yardage? There's a lot of programs out there you can plug in this type of data and find out what is the actual yardage. You can have that in there. Now, for my more precision, longer shots, I also have external turrets with a revolution indicator. Reason being, for my longer shots, I want to know how many revolutions I took on that turret in order to get there so I can come back to my zero. And I found these to be very repeatable. Now, like I say about everything up here, it's all opinion. This is my opinion for my muzzleloader. Other people may have other opinions. All right. Now, there's actually 3 bullets that I shoot. In my custom guns, I still shoot these too, but a lot of my other ones, those are a little bit more specialized, so they cost a lot more. So it wasn't fair. I didn't feel like it was fair for me to tell you a price point gun, a price point scope, and then give you bullets that cost $250 and $3 and $4 a piece. So I didn't do that. These are very well made. These are very accurate. This is an older box, so yes, it does still have Nike name on it, but these are Barnes bullets. Barnes. I shoot them religiously. All right? They will do any and everything that you want. Now, for a lot of people out there, I've read a lot of threads on tracking deer, this, that, and the third. This is my opinion. Stop tracking deer. Stop rushing the shot. Get out there before the season. Know your rifle. Practice, 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 practice. So you don't have to rush the shot. In the effort for just being translucent across the board, I haven't tracked a deer in years, like over 10, 15 years. I won't pull the trigger if I can't drop that deer in this track. If I do my part, these bullets do theirs. The wound channel is devastating. It's very rare that a deer take a step, but the wound channel is devastating. I'm talking about, I've shot deer at 560, and I've shot deer at 580, and I've shot deer at 860. And it does 100% of what it's supposed to do. It drops them in their tracks. Now, am I suggesting that you go out and do that? I'm not doing that. I'm not suggesting that at all. You have to know your own limit. You have to get out there and shoot. You got to be honest to yourself and fair to that animal that's giving his life for you to eat. Be fair. Be real with yourself. Another thing that you're going to definitely need to get you is a good rangefinder. A good rangefinder will help you in your pre-season, working up your loads, and when you're out there, stop guesstimating that distance. That'll stop you from making so many misses. Get you a good rangefinder. They don't cost that much anymore. This is just one that I like. It's an older one. I've had it for a long time and it's been tried and true for me. This is Bushnell 1000, the Yardage Pro 1000 Bushnell. I put plenty deer on the ground, plenty groundhogs, everything. It's tried and true. It works for me. Now, we're gonna get into a little bit more technical stuff. If you think that you're gonna take your muzzleloader, let me go ahead and, I don't wanna hurt anybody's feelings, but I'm gonna tell you straight up. If you think you're gonna take your muzzleloader, go out here and shoot 600, 700, 800 yards, stop fooling yourself. Go home, sit down. Let's do some studying. All right, point blank and simple, muzzleloaders drop like a sack of potatoes. You understand me? You need to set your rifle up to make shots like this. This may look like a simple setup, but if any of y'all noticed anything, you'll notice that the scope is not straight. The scope is not straight, it's slanted. Reason being, I have MOA adjustment built into the scope already by the weight of the rings. Now, normally I would have used a full MOA base, but it was gonna cost me $184 to have one custom made for the CVA muzzleloader, because no one really has, that I found, has one across the counter. They will make it, but the solution was something that I've been using for years. You use these BURRIS Signature Z rings. BURRIS Signature Z rings. These come with whatever MOA that you want. You can get these with 10 or 5, 10, 20 MOA adjustment. I got adjustment in those, which allows me to dial in inside the scope 700 plus yards, and then from there use the bullet, the BDC built into the scope to walk the rest of the distance. I'm shooting roughly about 2,000 feet a second, roughly right around, actually like 2084, 2085, something like that. But with that recipe, with the BDC from the bullets, with velocity and this and third, I can dial in and shoot anything. Some of y'all saw the video. I didn't have a problem with shooting the gong at 1,000 yards. All my problems that came in with the technical difficulties was found later to be 100% my fault, which was fine because I like playing with stuff like that anyway. Boom. All right. With that being said, I'm gonna end this video so it don't be so long. But if any of y'all got any questions or anything like that, be free to call me. I mean, text me, email me, inbox me, whatever y'all folks say these days. But you know where I'm at. I'm on Facebook. I'm on YouTube. But this is what I use. Keep it real with everybody out there. It is what it is. My muzzleloader likes Barnes bullets, pushed by 777, ignited by Magnum primers, and this is a CVA. I don't know if I can't remember if I told y'all this, but for all y'all that wonder what this thing is, this is a CVA. It is an older CVA. I've had it ever since they came out with them. This is actually a Firebolt Magnum 26-inch fluted barrel muzzleloader from CVA. CVA, I don't know why y'all stopped making them, but I love it. Glad you did. Y'all get back at me. I'll see y'all on the range next time.